Does anyone have a question? Hmm. I've been doing this meditation for a very long time, and I have to admit that there's nothing in me that understands this process. All I know is that it works, and a continuance of doing it has given me in my life, consciousness and insight into human behavior and relationship with God that I could have never imagined ever having. It's over time, it's over, literally a long time, and that one organically grows into this. But the incredible thing is you never understand it. And if you try to understand it, you're going to limit it to your own conception of the world. It'll become part of what you understand about life. And that's not what this is about. This is going beyond oneself. It's going to another realm of consciousness. It's truly opening to God, spirit, energy that's infinite in the universe. And who, madmen and, I don't know, angels and maybe saints understand God. I don't know anybody else. And even the saint, probably the first thing they would do is shrug their shoulders and say, I don't know. All I know is it works. And I think that's the single most important thing. Is a person growing? Is their heart more open? Are they getting clearer inside themselves? Is there less chaos inside themselves? I mean, these are the manifestations of inner growth. One isn't mentally, emotionally, and sexually chaotic half the day. Those energies don't run rampant, except they're being used in order to develop a chakra system that's strong enough to continue the growth. And one, through that kind of inner growth, lives in life but is free of life, which is an incredible step in just becoming human, to be able to live actively in the world and not be trapped in all that illusion. Being bigger than all the illusion, recognizing how you can take all of this illusion, this thing called the objective world, and use it as an opportunity to get stronger inside yourself. Just the simple realization that if you don't get stronger inside yourself, it will suck every ounce of energy out of you. So it has its purpose, and it's an amazing teacher, the objective world. And also, when a person is not attached to it, it can be fun. It doesn't have to be a drag and as horrible as everybody makes it out to be. It can be fun. We can laugh. We can enjoy ourselves living in the world. But the first thing we have to do is get free of it. It can't be a trap that sucks all our energy and our life out of us. And then all the elements of the objective world become our teacher. They teach us how to grow inside ourselves. How important it is to grow, because if we don't grow, we get sucked into the illusion, thinking that if we change the external world, life is going to change. It doesn't work that way. You have to change inside. Then the external world will change. And life changes. It's from inside out, not from outside in. Does anyone have a question? I mean, these are difficult things to comprehend. It takes time to begin to live with these things and to allow these things to truly work inside you and grow because of them. So one has to, as I always say, incrementally grow and day by day recognize changes. We're quieter inside. We're less angry. We're less emotional about things. We're capable of living every day and, making every day something precious. Does anyone have a question?
I have a it's Leisha.
Yes, Leisha.
Um, so the question is again about taking in the energy, absorbing that energy of God and that resistance that comes up that says, I'm not good enough, or who am I to take in all of this love? And I'm still grappling with that. I wonder if you can say something about
Try and repeat the question again because a lot of it got lost there in the.
Sorry, I think the microphone was under the phone, so maybe that's why. Is this better?
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, it's much better actually.
oh, okay, sorry. So taking in the energy in the meditation or from the universe or from God through you, um, I'm still finding, which is natural, I know, this resistance that says, who am I to love myself, or who am I to deserve love? And I'm still struggling with that quite a lot. And
That's
I wonder if you could.
look, it's not out of the ordinary, Alicia. You've lived with it so long of this energy that you kind of beat yourself up with and kept yourself from being a happy person. I mean, it's part of the habit of the way you lived your life. It's going to take time for you to let go of it. The fact that it's coming up is very positive because then you see what you have to work against inside yourself. And look, I always kid around. I say an automobile can't be smarter than a human being. When an automobile runs out of gasoline, it stops working. When people run out of energy, creative energy, they turn to their tension and use their tension that makes their life even worse. So we need to learn that it's essential to get nourishment. We eat. We have to eat in order to live, to get nourishment. If we eat junk food, it's going to, rip apart our digestive system. So we have to learn to eat. We have to be smarter than an automobile. A refrigerator needs electricity or it doesn't work. It needs energy. Everything in life needs energy. These classes are Shakti, they're energy, they're spiritual energy. And these classes can help you to break down all of that resistance. They will remind you constantly that you have that resistance and that you, dear, need to get stronger inside in order to get rid of that resistance. It's the only way it goes away. I mean, go to some old age home and see what happens to people when they're in their 70s, their 80s. You know, I mean, a lifetime of that resistance has shriveled them up, and most of them can barely function. I mean, the best they can do is maybe play bridge and sit, all day in a rocking chair. And that's what happens as people get older. The resistance, the tension it shrivels them up. And you have to have a lot of compassion for people because, look, I mean, most of them had no knowledge about Shakti and energy and chakras and all of that kind of thing. So have patience. I think you're doing really well. And I think you have to have patience with yourself and understand that stuff will continue to come up until you get stronger than it. And these classes, this Shakti, this energy, that's what it's for. That's exactly what it's for. Building a chakra system that gives you the strength to get stronger than your resistance. And honestly, there will always be some resistance inside. And it's not an unhealthy thing. It's just a reminder that we have to grow.
Thank you.
Then it's how you take advantage of it. I mean, I think this thing you want to do about having a retreat in your house there, I mean, that's, to me, it really opened my heart that somebody offered that. And that'll make you grow doing those kind of things. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Look, I've been through all of that resistance stuff just about all my life. And I tell you, what I used to do when I was younger, I don't do it anymore because I've been there and I've done it. I used to throw myself in the middle of an ocean. I would take on situations that were, if I thought about them from 5 minutes, I would have run for the hills. And it usually was financial situations that I would take upon myself. And I would do it for a simple reason. I needed the pressure of that kind of situation to remind me that the only place I was going to get the energy, to get stronger than that situation was from God. And I had to work in huge depth inside myself in order to get bigger than these. I'm talking ridiculous things. And I think, like, Stuart, you're insane. The kinds of things I used to take on myself to do. And I use the world that way. The economics of the world I use that way as a reminder. Man, if you don't grow, Stuart, you're going to get sucked dry by what you have just said you're going to do. And then within 6 months, these situations became completely manageable. And what was a monster became small. So, I'm saying you have to use the external world and the pressures of the external world that way. And we all have pressure on us. There's something in life that demands of us. Family, it could be the economics of our life. It's always something. And we have to, instead of rejecting these things, we have to say, okay, I need to get stronger. I need to grow. It's not the other person's fault. If I grow enough inside myself, I can find a way to find the seed of God in another human being and not spend my time fighting with them if I grow inside myself. And the energy of these classes is for that. That's it. To build a chakra system that can help you to develop what I'm talking. And then there's no more fear of life. You're not afraid of all the things that come to you in life. They're not intimidating and threatening, and can have happy relationships. And everything works. if we build a system inside that allows it to work. Does anyone else have a question? I have to get this computer. I don't know what's wrong. It keeps sliding to the left back. I don't know. We try to fix it. We thought we did, and now it's doing the same thing again. I didn't have this on my old computer. Now that I have a brand new computer.
Stuart, how do I deeply surrender an attachment that is taking a lot of mental energy?
How do you do what? You have to repeat.
Deeply surrender completely an attachment that is taking up a lot of mental energy.
Well, look, Nina, you got to grow. You have to look, I wrote in one of my tantric things that I put online. I don't know if I published this one. It was just, I have so many of them now but it was all about if you get into a fight with somebody, an argument, it's not their fault. You got into that argument because you haven't grown enough inside yourself to be able to find a way of communicating with another human being. So if you use life that way, every time you want to get into a fight with life and you think somebody is, and people are full of shit, but if you're big enough inside yourself, it doesn't bother you. You can communicate with that human being. You can communicate with the economics of your life. The landlord, the mortgage payments, the groceries. So everything, you understand, depends upon how developed your chakra system is. And if it's highly developed, then you're going to be able to deal with it. No longer intimidating. That's how. At least that's the only way I know that's how. There might be other ways. People are endlessly trying to manipulate life to work according to the way they think it should work, and it never does. It's been going on for millions of years now. Everybody is manipulating life to work the way they think it's supposed to work. And we're living in this crazy world. The world keeps getting crazier, because people don't fix the only thing that really can be fixed, themselves. And if they fix themselves, the external world will get fixed. Or at least they'll be strong enough to deal with all the bullshit that goes on in this world, and not allow it to suck their energy out. That's how. I don't know another way how. But to be really honest with you, I don't. I tried everything else, and none of it ever worked. This worked for me.
Thank
you. Okay. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, if there are no more questions, there will be class on Tuesday. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you for being, in a way, my test. I have to grow deep enough inside myself, provide the teachings that help everybody that comes to this place. It's a miracle for me. And God bless you all. Thank you. And there'll be class Tuesday. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome.
Thank you.